In Jacksonville, a sheriff's officer is frantically searching for two lost toddlers after a neighbor saw one of the kids fall into their apartment complex's pond. The officer sprints to the water's edge, but there's no sign of the caller or the child. Then she spots the concerned neighbor and huffs it in her direction.
Where's the baby? Where? Where? Where's he at?
One of the toddlers is safe on land, but to much of the officer's horror, the second one is underwater. Without hesitating, the officer and the toddler's babysitter jump into the pond. But as if this situation weren't terrifying enough, there's more danger at play, because this officer can't swim. The officer dives underwater with no concern of drowning herself. Desperately searching the murky waters, suddenly she bumps into the toddler's arm and quickly pulls him to the surface. She passes him to his babysitter, who is also in the water, and starts struggling back to shore herself. She makes it to shallow waters, but the crisis is far from over. A neighbor now has the child, but after being underwater for more than a minute, the little boy is completely motionless. After having just nearly drowned herself, the officer doesn't miss a beat and starts giving the toddler CPR. Finally, paramedics arrive and are able to take over the emergency.
You pop her back?
Yes, I did.
The child is rushed to a nearby hospital where he is stabilized.
I'm getting.
The officer is later given honors from the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office for her bravery, and the toddler goes on to make a full recovery, all thanks to the watchful eye of the neighbor who called for help, and this officer who puts herself in harm's way.
I'm getting him.
Pinellas Park, Florida. A few animal lovers approach a father and son fishing at a popular neighborhood pond.
You guys just gonna let this fish die like this?
No.
You know, what if
Get the bucket right now.
what if this was a dog? Have you ever looked up how fish feel pain?
Harassing you, sir. There's no reason for you to harass.
I'm not harassing you. This is my duty, and my duty is to speak up for animals in need.
A friend of the animal lover arrives late to the conversation and chimes in.
What if this was a dog?
We've already been answering those questions.
The fishermen remain calm, but the neighbors grow more agitated watching the fish flop around.
I'm fixing to throw him back in the water.
No, you're not gonna touch it.
Is he your property?
Is he your property?
Both parties are suddenly embroiled in a custody battle over a fish.
Don't step on that fish!
Call the police.
Call the police. I just saved the fish life. How about that?
And this fish out of water story ends up taking a turn.
That is
How about
stealing.
that?
That is harassment.
I
That
was
is
Stealing the fish out of the lake.
You stole
Please
that
do.
fish out of his home.
Police soon arrive, and the animal lover tries his logic on them.
So if there was a dog that was dying in front of you, would you try to save that dog's life?
Yeah, let's not go there.
But the Florida police aren't biting, and the animal lover is charged with interfering with the lawful taking of a fish.
I don't have the right to save an animal's life? Are you kidding me?
The clip of the confrontation quickly goes viral, and the animal lover's case goes to court, where he's found guilty and fined $500.
This is my duty, and my duty is to speak up for animals in need.
It's a sunny day in Fort Myers, Florida, when a young boy runs into his front yard to play with his dog. These two are inseparable. A bond formed when 4-year-old Nico was given a German Shepherd puppy a year earlier and named him Tank.
Hello, Pinky.
One day, Nico decides to take Tank out into the front yard for his favorite game of fetch. Suddenly, the neighbor's dog gets loose and darts straight for Nico. When Tank sees his best friend in danger, his instincts kick in. He knocks Nico out of the way for protection. With Nico safe, Tank defends his friend until the neighbor can get his dog under control. Nico's mom hears the screams and runs out, and the neighbor's dog is taken back into the house.
Baby, okay?
Fortunately, Nico and Tank don't suffer any injuries. After the incident, the neighbor vows to keep his dog on a leash when outside, and Tank becomes not only Nico's best friend, but also his neighborhood protector.
Please leave.
It's a rainy day in this rural Jacksonville, Florida neighborhood when an argument between two neighbors comes to a head. The older mother and her son recording are feuding with the woman in the tie-dye over the rights to use a road in front of their houses. The neighbors have been feuding over access to the street over the past year.
No, it's not a private road. It's private property used by... It's an access by necessity. You don't know the law.
That is private property. This is a road.
This is private property. This is private property.
The woman in the tie-dye top thinks she has the right to park on the street, as she says it's public property. But the son and his mother say it's theirs per access by necessity, which means the road can't be blocked, as it's the only way to reach their home.
This is my driveway. Oh, yes. Because I have a title search. This is private property.
Those poles, woman.
No, it's not. The whole thing. You're totally wrong. That's for you.
Please
and your
step
neighbor.
back.
I have a paparazzi rights to stand here. My First Amendment rights.
I do not care what
You
your
don't.
deal
It's
is.
private
Please leave.
property.
The dispute over the road turns personal when the neighbor hurls insults at the mother.
Ignorant, stupid.
She's trash.
I didn't feel you want to try me. Doesn't think that's too late.
And the woman in the tie-dye grows even angrier as she approaches the mother's son.
Do not walk towards me any closer. Stop.
Your grandma's son.
Stop right there. Stop right there.
This ain't your
If you will hurt me any further,
Call me a
do not.
One more time, I swear to God, your ass is laid on the ground.
Do not.
The son claims the woman knocks the phone out of his hand.
Someone out here watching.
Seeing that things are becoming more aggressive, the husband of the woman in the tie-dye gets involved.
I got a lot of money. I'm gonna call a settlement easer and have them come out here east the property lines and find out where your property lines are, and I'm gonna have them posted out here.
Dumbass.
With the argument heating up again, the husband turns towards the son.
Oh, you put that phone in my face, dog? I will jack you. I will go to jail for that. I don't give a. I'm the wrong dude. I don't give a.
Whoa. Okay. All right.
Bro, what's up, man? Record, bro.
Come near me. Don't you dare come near me. Don't you
You
dare.
got your mama like a little bitch.
Don't you.
Nuts.
Yeah, I protect my family. Stay away from me.
Bro, grab a stick. Do it.
If you come at me again, do not come near me. Yes, you did. I got you on video. Get away from me.
With the shouting match all shouted out, both neighbors retire to their houses. According to the man recording, the police arrive, but no arrests are made. And while these neighbors still argue over the usage of the road, they hope for a much smoother path in the future.
I don't give a. I'm the wrong dude.
The small community of Weeki Wachee boasts a population of only a few dozen people year-round. One of the lucky residents is Jonathan Prout.
Neighborhood is like kind of out in the woods, but it's right on the Weeki Wachee River. I mean, not a lot of houses go up for sale around here because it's so beautiful. So most of the people that are out here are, 60 and older.
And because Jonathan and his friends are so much younger, lifestyle differences pose a problem with the older neighbors.
They're not really hip to the new way of life, and they're not very open-minded. Cutting our damn jumping trees down.
And the differences between these two generations all come to the surface one sunny morning when Jonathan is out paddling past his neighbor's dock with two friends.
The girls that were on the paddleboard, one is a roommate and another one was just a friend, and I took them on a paddleboard ride, and when we went past the dude's house is when they were kissing.
But Jonathan sees the neighbor getting upset at the women locking lips.
When I seen him coming to his dock, he was starting to yell something. I told my friend to start to record.
I got a problem with you. I don't care. I don't get to take your private job and you control the car.
He's telling me that if I bring girls past his house kissing again, he's gonna whoop my ass.
You're not intimidating at all, buddy.
What makes matters worse is that Jonathan has never seen this man before today.
None of us had seen him. Like he literally, I think that was the first day that he was even at the house.
The new neighbor rolls up his sleeves and inches closer to the edge of his dock.
You better be ready for that pound.
I wasn't surprised that he came out and yelled, but I was definitely surprised that he jumped in the river after me.
Oh my god. Oh, he's coming. Look, he's in the water, dude. What are you doing? Is this real?
But even when the neighbor jumps in to fight, Jonathan isn't taking the bait.
No, be up right now. I'm right here. Be up. Quit talking with your little ears.
The neighbor even makes fun of Jonathan's ears.
So I had cat ears on, and I wore them throughout the day. He thought that they were like not masculine, and that he was just picking on me about them.
You ain't gonna beat nothing. Yeah, you ain't beating.
But even as they yell at each other, Jonathan plans to stay nonviolent.
So I was saying anything I could just keep him from coming close to me.
You come through here again. I live right here. I don't give a where you live. I live right there.
But as the neighbor closes in on his kayak, Jonathan's plans change.
I was feeling like I was gonna have to hurt him, you know, to keep myself safe.
This is real life. We might have to call the police.
I had planned on making him eat the end of my paddle.
Yeah, boy. Yeah, boy. I'm gonna show you what a boy is.
So he should probably just chill and leave us alone.
I'm right here. I'm right here, brother.
The argument finally ends with Jonathan and his friends paddling away. But a new development occurs soon after.
So the next day after he came in the river after me, he decided that he didn't want no more issues with me. So him and I started talking after that, and he bought me a dinner.
Jonathan and his neighbor are able to put their differences aside to maintain peace.
When I go by there now, he waves and everything. We're cordial with each other.
But Jonathan has some advice for his other neighbors.
Mind your own business. It's really not, you know, anyone's business what anyone else is doing unless they're hurting someone.
No, be up right now.
And basically, let neighbors do whatever floats their boat.
You know, if they're not on your property and they're not hurting anyone, just leave them alone.
Shortly after bringing their newborn baby home to their Tampa, Florida condo, a couple find themselves in a rift with their downstairs neighbor, who's irritated with the noise they're making while tending to the newborn's needs. "Could you don't make that sound?" writes the neighbor. "Sound like stepping floors." And again the next day. "Don't hit the ground, please. You wake me up since 4 a.m. Now tiptoeing around their apartment at night, the new father checks in with his neighbor the following day. "Good morning. Was it better last night?" writes the new father. "Yes, it was much better. I slept till 7 a.m. And the matter appears to be resolved. But things take an eerie turn. According to the couple, a strange and noxious odor becomes noticeable at their front door. For several weeks, the intense odor comes and goes in waves, which the family claims causes irritation and nausea. After trying in vain to pinpoint the source of the smell, the husband suspects it might be coming from outside the front door and installs a hidden surveillance camera in a nearby plant just to see if he's missing something. And he's shocked by what he records. One afternoon, the husband gets a notification on his phone and promptly checks it, seeing his downstairs neighbor doing something suspicious at the bottom of his front door. Due to the camera angle, he is unable to make out the neighbor's actions in any conclusive way, so he readjusts the framing, hoping to get a more complete picture should the neighbor come back. And the very next day, the neighbor returns. The husband is shocked to see what looks like a syringe and vial in the neighbor's hands. And he does something even more chilling than the family could possibly imagine. He appears to inject something from the syringe under the door of the apartment. Shaken by what he sees, the husband immediately calls 911. The police and fire rescue teams arrive and check the family's vitals, assessing the effects of potential chemical exposure. something that is later confirmed by court records to be a mixture of the opioids, methadone, and hydrocodone, an extremely dangerous and sometimes lethal combination. The husband believes the neighbor's motives are driven by desire to get the family to move out. Upon seeing the video, the police arrest the neighbor. He is subsequently charged with battery, possession of a controlled substance, and aggravated stalking. According to police documents, the neighbor, a Chinese national pursuing a PhD in chemistry, is expelled from the local university and reportedly deported back to China. Thankfully, the father's intuition prevents the chemical attack from becoming deadly. But the ordeal leaves a deep and traumatic impact on the family, one that can hopefully fade over time. In the quiet suburban neighborhood of Lake Worth, Florida, 19-year-old Caden Hillary is crazy about fishing. One day, Caden and two of his friends are casting their lines in a local pond, which is part of a homeowners association. They don't live here, but they have fished in this spot many times before with no issues.
All right, let me cast it.
But just as they start reeling in the catch,
Oh my God, there's like 10 of them!
Caden sees a neighbor approaching whose house backs onto the pond.
The lake isn't your property. What? The lake's not your property.
Suddenly, with no warning, the neighbor lashes out.
Yes, it is.
Oh.
Caden finds himself in the 6-foot lake, fully clothed, and luckily, his friend helps him out. Stunned by what just happened, Caden and his buddies confront the neighbor, who is with his wife and kids.
What's your problem, bro?
What happened?
You guys cannot fish here. You cannot fish here. There's a sign there. Please. Why'd you come out here and touch him? Please. I didn't touch anybody. He's slipped and fell.
I slipped and fell?
Yeah. You just pushed him. No?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. It's on camera.
It's literally on camera.
Next, the neighbor calls the police, even though he is the one who pushed Caden into the water.
Yeah, I'm sure that guy called you. Dude, he pushed me in the lake.
I'm sorry, what?
I swear to God, he pushed me in the lake.
You have that on camera?
I got it on camera.
Show me that.
All right.
At this point, Caden stops filming, but to avoid being charged with assault, the neighbor is ordered to attend anger management classes and write a letter of apology. Caden insists he is still waiting for the letter, but he hasn't seen the neighbor again because he and his friends now fish elsewhere. There are plenty of other fishing ponds in this neighborhood. We're in Miami, Florida. It's 1 a.m., and at a downtown apartment complex, security cameras record a man wandering around the parking lot. He's carrying what looks like a gas can. One of the building's tenants, Miguel Quintero, is outside getting some air. He doesn't recognize the man.
Living there 5 years, I did know every single one of the neighbors. He walked by and I just knew something was up.
The stranger walks off, but minutes later, he's back. This time outside the door of an apartment. He unscrews his can, pours the contents on the doormat, and then sets it alight, and then runs away. Inside the apartment asleep is Susie Rios and her 2 young granddaughters, who she's babysitting for the night.
I'm one of those people that when I go to sleep, I hear nothing.
As Susie's door starts to burn, it triggers the smoke alarm.
I never even thought it was a fire alarm. As I'm walking down the stairs, all of a sudden I see the downstairs full of smoke. There was no rear exit. So my thoughts were, okay, what do I do? How do I get the girls out? I mean, it was just like all hell literally broke loose. God willing, there's a neighbor out there, someone's out there.
Susie's prayers are answered. Her neighbor, Miguel Quintero, has seen the flames and rushes to her door.
My first thought is I have to pull this fire away enough from the door so that I can get to the door and bang on the door, ring the doorbell to wake everybody in that unit up. And then my next thought was, of course, let's go get him.
Incredibly, having just saved his neighbors, Miguel then chases down the arsonist.
He can hear my footsteps, and you see the fear in him when he hears me coming, because I'm coming in fast, and I'm a big locomotive coming towards him. So when he turns around, I see his eyes get real big, and he's just like, why? And from there is when I jump on top of him, and I know I'm not gonna hurt him too bad, but I'm definitely gonna do enough so that he knows he's not gonna go anywhere.
Miguel uses his college wrestling skills to restrain the man.
So I put his arm behind his back and, kept my arm around his neck. Not enough to choke him out, but enough to have control.
I finally get the door open, and Miguel starts screaming at me, call 911. He set the fire, call 911.
Get the fire, Tim.
Is it him?
Yep, hopefully.
Yeah, I did. It's on the way.
I think time slowed down for me. In that moment, it felt like forever for them to get there, but when I look back, it was within minutes. So they handcuffed him and then, took him away and just kind of shook my hand and did a good job here. As far as a weapon, I didn't think about it. I just knew I wanted to get him and bring him to justice.
No motive was ever given for his actions, but 23-year-old Luis Menendez was charged with arson and attempted murder. He was found guilty and sentenced to 5 years. Ever since the terrifying incident, Susie and her family can't thank their Good Samaritan neighbor enough.
My first reaction was that I need to have a statue erected to Miguel. I need to have a halo placed on his head. He was our godsend. He is our angel. And I look back on the footage, I'm just amazed that we're here. I'm here. Most importantly, that my 2 baby granddaughters are here.
There's nothing in this world that could repay him for what he did for me and my family. Sorry, just give me a second. There's not enough words to say thank you, really.
I want to be a good neighbor. I want to know my neighbors, and I want them to know, as different as we are, because God, we are different. We want the same things.
You never know when you're going to need each other. They could need you, you could need them.
And I just want them to know who I am and that I got their backs. And what's great is, I know they have my back.
When 30-year-old social worker Wadney Sargent and her husband Alex move into a tranquil family suburb in West Palm Beach, Florida, they are over the moon.
It was the perfect neighborhood for me and my husband and the doggy. We were filled with excitement, and it was emotional too. And then it came to a nightmare.
Across the street from Wadney and Alex lives a couple in their 60s.
Both of my neighbors are confrontational, but we did not expect to have so much issues with our neighbors.
The first instance is when, unbeknownst to Alex, Wadney throws him a birthday party. But shortly after the cake is served, Wadney claims the evening is ruined. The neighbor makes a noise complaint and starts recording her guests, so Wadney starts recording too.
You're on here trying to disturb our party. When I came outside and he was filming me, I felt frustrated and upset and angry. I was kind of trying to chase him away. You came out of your house to do this, okay? Yeah, do the same. I'm doing the same too. And I'm gonna send this email to the HOA tomorrow, okay? Because you're trying to disturb my husband's party. So you're recording me, and you're not supposed to be recording me without information.
Wadney says the police arrive, as she believes the neighbors call them.
I was upset and I was angry, but the party did continue because the officers did not find any evidence of loud music.
However, 2 weeks later, Wadney states the neighbors complain about the noise from a game night she hosts in her garage. When the couple comes outside, Wadney is worried, so she starts recording.
You get the off my property. Don't you ever come back.
Wadney says she's standing on the street, not on their land, and she's aghast by the neighbor's outburst.
I'm feeling angry, and I felt like maybe we made the wrong decision of moving into this particular home.
We could be with our family because of you and your friends.
You're the trashiest people that ever moved in this neighborhood.
Yes, it was shocking. When the neighbor said the C word to me, it did hurt my feelings.
How I'm on your property? I'm on the street. Off our property! We couldn't even have Easter today because of you, because you kept us up all night. We couldn't be with our family. We didn't get to have Easter because of you and your friends.
Wadney admits she and her husband like to host gatherings in their lovely new home. But she maintains they never go late and are not too loud. However, the neighbor has more to say.
We didn't get to have Easter because of you! Keeping us up till 3 o'clock in the morning! Record that!
This is really happening.
After this exchange, Wadney says she tries to avoid the neighbors.
The current situation with my neighbors now is that I do feel more anxiety. Typically, I don't go outside, but I'm trying to get better at going outside.
She's at the window. Oh my gosh, she just closed the blind.
Wadney and her husband start to look at new neighborhoods. Then, they have a change of heart.
This is our forever home, so we decided to stay. We have another event coming up, and we are planning on having music and enjoying our time with our friends and family.
You're the trashiest people that ever moved in this neighborhood. Record that!